says eye for eye and tooth for a tooth. But the government we're under says if they take something from you, don't only give them that, but give them a little something extra too. And our government says that they do wrong to you, you don't curse them, but you bless them and you don't curse them. Because we're under a new government. Amen? Amen. Verse 5. You're old, your sons walk down the ways. Verse 6. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Samuel, listen to the voice of the people and all that they say unto you. For they have not rejected you, but they have rejected what? Me. That I should not what? Reign over them. Let me tell you something. When you reject your leadership, you're not rejecting Pastor Shawn. You're not rejecting Bishop George Austin IV. You're not rejecting him. You know who you rejecting? You're rejecting God. Because the way you treat your leadership is the way you're going to treat God. Now, if you can't be faithful to me, who you see twice a week, there's no way you're going to be faithful to God you can't see. So then God said, you know what? They don't want you to rule over them. They really don't want me. Amen? And it's Bishop George Austin III. I'm sorry. No. Little George is the fourth. He prophesied. He prophesied. Lord help us. All right. Verse 8. Deacon Roy, read.
According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me, and serve other gods, so do they also unto thee. Keep going.
Keep going.
Now therefore hearken unto their voice. Howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner that the king that shall reign over them.
Lady Denise, read verse 10.
So Samuel told all the words of the Lord to the people who asked for a king. And he said, this will be the behavior of the king who will reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for his own chariots and to be his horsemen, and some will run before his chariots. He will appoint captains over his thousands and captains over his 50s. Will set some to plow his ground and reap his harvest, and some to make his weapons of war and equipment for his chariots. And he will take your daughters to
confectionaries. In other words, they're going to be objects of to satisfy his lust. Come on. That's right.
Oh, keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
Cooks and bakers. And he will take the best of your fields, your vine, your...
It didn't say he was going to ask for them. It said he was going to what them?
Take.
Keep reading.
Vine and your olive groves and give them to his servants. He will take a tenth of your grain and your vintage and give it to his officers and servants. And he will take your male servants, your female servants, your finest young men, and your donkeys, and put them to his work. He will take a tenth of your sheep, and you will be his servant.
A tenth? That sounds like a tithe. Let's say this with me. Every kingdom has an official tax. And every kingdom has an official language. A tenth is a tithe. So you're going to pay a tithe to the government, to the king. You see what I'm saying? Watch. Now watch this. You know what God's doing all right there? He's letting them know, look, you're about to make a choice, but with every choice comes a what?
Consequence.
Cons of what?
Consequence.
All right. The word con means with, and sequence means a series of events.
That's right.
Am I talking right?
That's right.
So that every choice we make, there is a series of events that's attached to that choice.
That's right.
Now, man was made in the image and after the likeness of God. In other words, God made you so much in his likeness that he gave you the greatest power he could give to anybody. You know what that is? The freedom to choose. Now, God's not going to give that type of power without a checks and a balance. So here's the balance to come with your choice. Every choice you make has a series of events attached to it. Am I talking right?
That's it.
So we need to be careful before we just up and say stuff because we done got it in our feelings, we done got it in our emotions. Because death and life is in the power of the what? Tongue.
Amen.
All right, so look what he's saying. Verse number 19. Nevertheless, the people refused to do what? Obey the voice of Samuel. And they said, no, we want a king over us. We may be like all the other people in the world, and our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of the Lord. And the Lord said unto Samuel, hearken to their voice, and make them a king. And Samuel said unto the men of Israel, go, every man unto the city. And that's why I'm going to stop today. So look at what's going on. The people wanted a what? A king. So you know what God did? God gave them a king. First king he gave them was in a response to the people. The second king he gave them was in a response to his desire. That let me tell you something. You can be a man of the people, or you can be a man of God.
Come on now.
Woo!
That's good.
Saul was a king and a man of the people, but David was a king and a man of God.
Amen.
Now watch another thing too. Before the authentic really show up, an invitation gonna come and visit you.
Amen.
It's gonna look like what you've been praying for. It's gonna smell like what you've been praying for, and it's gonna have every I dotted and every T crossed. But when you hook up with that thing and start giving it from your life force, it's not gonna be what you thought, because it's not what God had for you. Am I talking right?
Amen.
And that's enough for tonight. Amen.
Amen.
And just to get you started, write down the overview. We're going to walk through the life of David these next couple of weeks. And you're going to see that every enemy gets you ready for a next fight. And Saul prepared him for his ultimate enemy, which was his what? Self. Because you have to go through the veil of your flesh to get to the most holy place, to get to the presence of God. Amen?
Amen.
All right. Who's picking up the offering? What are we going to do? Come on, get your offering together. Get your seed together.